Okay, remember back in the days of TV shows like, My Three Sons and The Brady Bunch and Bewitched? I mean, yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, back in the 60s, when these shows were at the height of their popularity, national security was a really very different thing. I mean, first and foremost, setting aside the Nixon abuses, intelligence agencies had to have a warrant for pretty much everything, and there were even restrictions for spying on other countries. During the Cold War, the U.S. government still needed to go through the proper channels and obtain the warrants necessary, even to spy on the Soviet Union. National security and spying were important, but so too was protecting our basic rights and liberties. Senator Obama would have fit in perfectly in the 1960s. I mean, during his time in the U.S. Senate, Senator Obama repeatedly stood up for our liberties and freedoms in the face of an ever-growing national security complex. As Senator Rand Paul pointed out in an op-ed for The Guardian last week, back in 2007, then-Senator Obama teamed up with then-Senator Chris Dodd, now a lobbyist, in threatening to filibuster the Foreign Intelligence Security Act, or FISA. Surveillance Act. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. At that time, Senator Obama opposed provisions in FISA that would have granted immunity to telecom companies who shared private client information with the government without proper due access. Back in 2007, Senator Obama's office released a statement saying that, quote, granting such immunity undermines the constitutional protections Americans trust the Congress to protect. Senator Obama supports a filibuster of this bill. End quote. And in 2008, during the presidential campaign, then Senator Obama spoke out against the invasions of our Fourth Amendment privacy rights in the name of national security.
I will provide our intelligence and law enforcement agencies with the tools they need to track and take out the terrorists without undermining our Constitution and our freedom. That means no more illegal wiretapping of American citizens. No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime. No more tracking citizens who do nothing more than protest a misguided war. No more ignoring the law when it is inconvenient. That is not who we are. And it's not what is necessary to defeat the terrorists.
Right. Fast forward 5 years, and the now President Obama appears to be a shell of his former self. The man who once said that the intelligence community could do its job without trampling on the rights of American citizens now believes that, quote, modest encroachments on privacy, end quote, are just fine. Slowly but surely, President Obama has expanded national security during his time in office to a point where we're left asking just how much bigger can it get? By the way, this is bipartisan. This started with Bush. In fact, you could argue that this started with Nixon. I mean, but how out of control has our national security addiction become? Just in the name of saving fewer American lives than the number of people who slip and die in bathtubs every year. Yes, that's right. More people die in their bathtubs than are killed by terrorists in America every year. Now, 2001 might have been an exception with, 4,000 people dying on 9/11, but if you average that over the decade, bathtubs are still a bigger threat. Connor Friedersdorf over at The Atlantic has put together a great piece talking about the powers that Bush and Obama are leaving to future presidents if we do nothing to change the system. And those powers are scary, very scary. I mean, his list is impressive and frightening. Things like a precedent that allows the president to kill citizens in secret without prior judicial or legislative review, indefinite detention without habeas corpus or due process, ethnic profiling to choose the targets of secret spying, collecting DNA from people who have been arrested but haven't been even convicted of a crime, and a torture program that could be restarted with one presidential signature. When it comes to indefinite detention, there's a section of the Patriot Act that allows for the indefinite detention of any illegal alien who the Attorney General of the United States believes may cause a terrorist act. And security agencies and police forces across the country are already using ethnic and racial profiling to single out possible terrorists or criminals. Look at New York. The NYPD has stopped and interrogated more than 4 million innocent people since 2002, according to the ACLU of New York. NYCLU. Meanwhile, last week, the Supreme Court upheld the police practice of taking DNA samples from people who have been arrested but not convicted of a crime. It's just 21st century version of fingerprinting. Right. But what about some of the most egregious abuses of national security that have happened over the last decade? I mean, hundreds, maybe thousands of innocent civilians have been killed by U.S. drone attacks over the last 10 years without acknowledgement, apology, or compensation. In the fall of 2011, after a U.S. drone strike had killed American citizen Anwar al-Awlaki, U.S. officials then hunted down and killed his 16-year-old son and American citizen Abdul Rahman, even though he had no ties to terrorist organizations other than being the son of a radical jihadist. Closer to home, government officials have been abusing the powers granted to them by the Patriot Act on a startlingly frequent basis. In 2004, the Bushies, citing the Patriot Act, FBI agents used a GPS tracking device to search and secretly examine the home of Brandon Mayfield. Remember him? American citizen? Wrongfully jailed for 2 weeks on suspicion that he had something to do with the Madrid train bombings? He's like, huh? These are just a few of the many abuses that have occurred in the name of national security and protecting American lives. Thanks to the privatization of the national security state, which began with Reagan and has continued in every administration since, the Senator Obama, who stood up for civil liberties and freedoms in an age of increased national security interest, has been replaced by a President Obama who views modest intrusions on our privacy rights as just fine, even when they're done by for-profit companies answerable only to their stockholders. This is wrong. And this is that moment where we can say, this is wrong. Let's take national security out of the hands of private for-profit contractors, and let's go back to constitutional principles. The Fourth Amendment, it takes a warrant to snoop on you. The Fifth Amendment, you are innocent until proven guilty. The First Amendment, you can assemble.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
You can assemble to petition your government for redress of grievance, and you can speak out loud without fear of reprisal.